Welcome to the free championship rotation, week 3 of the preseason. Let's go into these champions. So first off, we have
All right.
Morgana, AP mid. Anything to say about her?
She's AP mid. She's good there.
Yeah, she's a CC queen. Basically, is the main thing people should really worry about is that she has a really great kind of. She basically has Lux's spell to hold you still. Her ultimate is like if it channels completely, can lock people in place, and she has a stupid puddle that'll murder you if you stand on it.
Which is great, when she stuns you and then throws that puddle under you. It's a good combo for her to throw out. You'll mostly see her mid. However, for a little while there, resurgence of support Morgana was starting to come out again.
I
Not
hate
so sure
support
anyone's still
Ghana.
doing that now.
I hate her so much.
It's a pretty good combo.
She's a
It is
great
scary.
she's a great counter to Draven because you just see where his thing's gonna land. You just toss one of her things and put a puddle there, and it's like, yeah, I dare you. I dare you to have
Well,
fun.
one of the most frightening things about support Morgana, and one of the great things that makes her a great mid, is that anti-magic shield. You cannot forget about that. And it doesn't just absorb damage, it takes any spell you throw at her, and until you break it with damage, it just makes her untouchable.
Yeah, and that's also a good key to like the support Ghana because then she can just cover the AD carry and yeah. All right, well let's move on. Let's keep this rolling. We got Nasus. I guess they're describing as a pusher. He's in the top lane. He has a stupid ultimate that gives him a whole bunch of health and makes him really big. He's got AoE damage, some sort of slow, and the big dangerous thing you need to worry about Nasus, or Enjoy if you're playing him, is that every time he kills something with his Q, that thing gets stronger, just like Veigar, and it doesn't
Hmm.
have a limit. So
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot like Veigar. The big thing about when you're laying against him is that you never really want Nasus to. He's one of the farmer characters. You don't want him to play the farming game, and he's really good at being hard to hit in the early game if you're not overly aggressive on him.
yeah, he can push and he can kill. Up next we have oh man, Rammus, jungler with high mobility. He has a taunt. So like one of the earliest
He's
forms of just
really fallen out of favor, though. Yeah.
yeah, and he's got a
Like,
shield.
when
Like
was
he
the
has
last time you
built-in
saw
Thornmail,
Rammus?
right? Not since I played
Yeah. No,
Dominion,
he's basically
so
got a board.
forever.
Yeah. If you don't play Dominion, you probably never see Rammus anymore. He's a great tank, one of the first. He's got a taunt that lasts forever. Absolutely forever. One thing to keep in mind if you're going to try out Rammus this week, as if you're completely new to him and it might trip you up a bit, is that his defensive move, where he gets that little like thorn mail and everything to reflect damage back, and is a big defensive steroid to him, cannot be activated at the same time as Powerball. The two will cancel each other. So you can't Powerball and then hit defensive ball curl and still be moving at the same speed, or move out of one end to the other, vice versa.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel like we just saved lives by saying that. Moving on, we have an AP mid. Here's a real dangerous one, Twisted Fate. If you play his W correctly, you can basically have infinite mana. His Q basically just goes through everything and goes forever and does tons of damage. And his main dangerous thing is that his ultimate is reveals every character on the map and he can teleport to about a lane over. So if he's in mid, he can go to either top or bottom and just super ganks.
Yep.
And he looks
And
totally
next up
awesome.
is Sona. He does
Just
look awesome. I like
that
his new skins.
his new skin and his new look is awesome. Well, I'll let you talk about Sona. She's one of your favorites.
Yeah. She is probably, yeah, definitely one of my favorites. She is queen support as far as I'm concerned these days. She is just a beast support in this game, bottom lane these days. She's starting to fall off in IPL though. A lot more Lulus now.
Yeah, Lulu seems to be the new queen, but there was some good Sona play.
Yeah. But all the tournaments before that, especially in the season 2 tournament, you saw almost nothing but Sona because she is just amazing down there. She's got all of her three spells are they have two parts to them. They have an active and they have an aura. The auras are always great. One of the best parts about her though is that she is just a poke beast in bottom lane. She's got a great amount of range on her Q, and it doesn't do a shy amount of damage either. She usually levels that up first. So pretty rare you level up something other than her because the aura on that also increases the attack damage of everyone else around her, which allows attack damage and AP. So anyone around her is doing more damage when that one is active, which makes it great to poke with for her to back up her own allies' support with. And probably one of the biggest, most devastating things about Sona is that ultimate. enormous area of effect, just full outright stun for I think like a whole second. I think
Yeah, I think it
it
starts at a second
is.
and
It
goes up
can
a bit.
you. It's wide. It's a huge linear radius, and it can pretty much hit an entire enemy team if they get into a cluster team fight and change everything.
Yeah, she can be really damaging. Up next, we have one of my favorite characters in the game, Caitlyn. She's an AD carry, has the longest natural range, so you can take advantage of that for some of the ones that have short range. Harass, harass, harass. Land your pelt over peacemakers, which is her Q. Plant traps to prevent ganks, and she has a good escape. She has an ultimate, which is, I believe, only used for harassment. I know some people will say use it to kill secure, but use it to harass. Has a minute cooldown. Just the moment you got it, shoot somebody. Doesn't matter. It'll hit anybody. It's got super long range.
It freaks him out too. There's a great mind game there.
Yeah, and she's just plain old awesome and has a bunch of awesome skins. We have a lot of Caitlyn footage, so if people have been following us, they can see that.
Yeah.
Up next is an
She's
Enigma.
mostly
Oh,
considered an early game champ.
yeah, she definitely is. She doesn't really have any kind of like Kog'Maw or Tristan or anything that really makes her super awesome late game. You just kind of have to hope that her headshots procking real well with an Infinity Edge or Lifesteal keeps her in the game. Up next is an Enigma I hope you know anything about. I've never played him, barely know anything about him. It's Jarvan!
Neither of us have touched Jarvan. He's a very tanky character these days. I'm not even sure if he jungles anymore. I think he still jungles.
I think I.
Um,
No, that was. No, I didn't see any Jarvan play during IPL. I'm thinking of Xin Zhao,
I
so
can't
yeah.
recall Jarvan getting used there. Yeah,
He's got an
he's a very
ultimate that
tanky.
traps people in a circle. That's about all I know about him.
That's about all you need to know. He throws that. He can throw a flag down, and basically he's got a pretty long range little poke that he can do. And if he pokes to the flag that he throws down, it's like a short range teleport sort of. It jumps him to it, so it's great for escaping, getting close to you, locking people down. He's got much more range to lock you down than you might think from a melee character like him.
Okay, and well, maybe he can benefit from some of those new Season 3 items. Up next is Brand. He's just all damage, all damage. No mobility or anything like that. He basically has a built in Ignite if you combo his abilities, and I believe he has a stun if you combo
Yep.
two of them, and his ultimate bounces around
Yeah.
like a bouncy ball.
Yep. Brand's primary mechanic is that all of his abilities sort of have a proc to combo with the other abilities that changes what they do. Basically, he ignites everything when he hits them, and then depending on what the next spell is, I don't know if they consume the ignite, but they act differently when they hit them with that. One is stun, one increases like damage over time on them. I can't recall what the other one is. It's been a while since I've touched Bran. One of the most devastating things to underestimate about him, though, is he's got decent range, and that ultimate of his will go forever and bounce. Once it hits one person, it doesn't matter how far away you are from Brand, it will bounce until you are dead.
It will find you. It will hunt you down, and it will kill you. Yeah, Brand's cool. He's good for team fighting. He's a good team fighter. I don't know how good his lane game is, but he's definitely good for team fights. Okay, so up next, another great AD carry, kind of like the easy mode AD carry. They nerfed his attack speed, but that doesn't really matter. Graves, he has a shotgun. He has a thing that makes people not being able to see him. He has a dash that increases his attack speed. And he has an ult that hurts not just the person it hits, but the people behind it, but that scales really. Like, it starts really weak, but then becomes something to really be worrying about in late game. He gains magic resistant armor every time he fires his gun at a cap of 10. So he becomes tankier the longer the fight is. He's a solid. If you want to learn how to AD carry, he's got a short range, but I think he's one of the easier ones to figure out.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about Graves is he's one of the AD carries that start off more of an AD caster, and then by about mid game, like level 8 or 10 or so, he starts to transition into the typical right click to kill guy.
Yeah, well, it's E and then right click.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It's early game, early to mid Q. Graves is all about the Q. Late game, it's all about the E. And then I think another enigma for us is Zed, Evil Shen. I know
Probably
he
because we haven't played him, but God,
well, he's free.
no
We'll
one's
try him.
played him in the games we've been.
I've
Yeah.
I've never fought a Zed, never seen a Zed. No, that's a lie.
I've
We worked with a Zen, but that was one of those ones where we just stomped and never got to group fighting phase.
yeah. Yeah, so not a whole lot for us to say about Zed. He seems pretty interesting. He's an energy-based ninja like the other three. I think his roles are supposed to be top or jungle. I've seen him mid once though. I don't remember how effective that was.
He was against the
Interesting about
cannon.
him is that
He
he
wrecked.
throws yeah, he throws shadow clones out, and he can teleport to a shadow, like swap places with it, or attack with the shadow clone as well. Basically, the shadow clone helps to increase the range, um, about everything that he can do, pretty much, and all of his moves revolve around using that shadow clone.
Okay, well, we'll get some Zed stuff. I can actually say, let me hit my nerd glasses for a second. This was the original design for Wukong. Wukong's earliest design was that he was a clone character, where all of his things were about controlling a clone, and they decided that was too difficult. So I guess they took another whack at that with
Hmm.
Zed. So let's
Well,
just,
you don't really
yep.
control the clone; it just moves throughout. Every move that he does is doubled by the clone.
Okay, well, a clone character. I guess they figured out how to tone it
Yeah.
back enough to make that actually doable. But no one plays him, so maybe they didn't. Alrighty, well, that's a pretty solid week. I actually own everyone that I'd want to use this week, oddly enough. I got Caitlyn, I got Graves, I got Twisted Fate. I don't know, maybe I'll try out Zed. Anybody you're interested in playing this week?
I'd like to try out Zed just because, Zed and Jarvan because we don't know anything about them. You get
Yeah,
time for us to get
we
some
should,
experience in.
we should do that.
And I
Yeah.
can recommend Sona easily for anyone who doesn't have other supports. Sona is probably still one of the best supports in this game. She's
Yeah, do
great.
Sona Graves. Or Sona Caitlyn. Whatever, yeah, Sona's a solid support. And if you want to be funky, do Morgana support. Support Ghana. Now we'll quickly touch on this. They have the IPL Salo Rama, which I will dive face deep in. I actually no, I own Nunu. Nunu's the only champ I own of this sale. It's Diana, Lulu, Nunu, Olaf, and Ezreal, which I kind of feel like the sale is a trap because these feel like they're saying, "All right, here are the next 5 champions we're gonna nerf. Feel free to buy them at this lower price."
Oh, man, I hope they don't nerf Lulu. She's in a too precarious position for her to do a lot of changes too.
She's
But
awesome.
Diana is I don't think most of these people actually need the nerfs. Diana though.
I just worry.
Diana could probably use some touching.
Well, they just said like, "Hey, here are the really popular strong champions," and it's like, "Oh no." That's usually followed by, "And here's how
Yeah.
we're gonna wreck them." And they also have neat skins.
Yep.
Lulu looking like a psychopath. Diana's giant forehead. Nunu in the armor's cool. Blue Olaf and better looking Ezreal is what I'll call that skin.
Yeah. That should be his default skin, as far as I'm concerned. That one is so much better than his default skin.
Yeah, so I think
Um,
I
and
think I'm gonna
the
dive
best
in
thing to
and
mention
buy
about the Lulu skin though is,
Cupcake.
yeah, the best thing to mention about that Lulu skin, cupcakes.
Yeah, I
It's
forgot about
instead of
that.
every one of her skins changes what she transforms people into, and that one they're bouncing cupcakes.
That's
It's great.
solid. That is super awesome. Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy Diana and Olaf. I think anybody you're interested in. I know you have Ezreal. I don't have Ezreal, but I'm not interested in high mobility ADs.
Yeah, the only two people I don't own are Olaf and Olaf. The only people I don't don't own are Olaf.
You have Nunu?
I have Nunu. I have
Okay.
everyone on that except Olaf.
The only
And
two
I've been
people
meaning
I
to buy Olaf. Some
Olaf and
Yeah, maybe I'll
Broloff.
pick him up.
We'll both buy
Yeah,
Olaf and then hate each other because someone else will have taken him. Alrighty, well that's free of the
yeah.
week. Season 3 has begun. Well, it hasn't begun, but now we're in the preseason part where you can actually play items off the PvE. So a healthy environment with great new items. Let's jump on in. So everybody out there, please don't pick Rammus. I'll hate you.